Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. The Gabba has been restored. The fortress has been restored, and Australia win the first Ashes Test. First of all, thank you for tuning in. Second of all, please remember to smash the like button. Third of all, please remember to subscribe to the channel. And fourth of all, sorry for the lateness of this video. Right, let's get into it. So Australia, they were dominant throughout pretty much most of this test, apart from and excluding that day 3. We're going to delve a little bit into what went on and also what this means for the series as a whole, what I think this might mean for the next test match as well, and where this game was won or lost. And I think, to be honest with you, Australia, for the most part, comprehensively outplayed England. England gave themselves a shred of a chance. There was this beacon of light beaming down, and they completely just dimmed it out completely on day 4. It was a very, very interesting day 4 for England, to say the least. And to be honest with you, they should be extremely disappointed with how that day 4 went, honestly. But let's get into this then. So, for those of you who have not been looking around, right, who have not been watching, who have not been paying attention to the Ashes, we're going to do a very, very, very quick rundown through the innings. So obviously you can see that England bought up 147. In terms of runs, Hamid looked pretty good for 25, Pope 35, Butler 39, Works 21, all good. Yeah, very good. Cummins, the first, or one of the first captains. I think he's a list of about, I think it's 4 or 5. Fast bowling captain to take a 5 in his first test match. So part of a nice little record there, and bowled really well, to be fair, as did pretty much everyone, to be honest. From Australia's point of view, they came out, Warner got a couple of chances, got 94. Dolly from, it was Burns, I think, at second slip on 48. That was not great. To be honest with you, Robinson was actually the one as well who eventually got him, but would have been happy if they could have got him for half the score. Labuschagne was on 74. That 74 was one of the best looking 74s I've seen in a while. And to be honest with you, he was playing so well, he looked like he could easily go on to get 200. He was disappointed the way he got out. It was a very loose shot to point after playing phenomenally well. And Head was the story of the innings. 152. What a knock. 4 sixes, 14 fours, and a strike rate of over 100, which you don't see very often in hundreds in Test cricket. Beautiful knock. Little knock by Stark there for 35, and a couple of double digits for Kerry, Cummins, and Lyon as well. Chip in. They got 425 all out, and that was a very substantial lead, to say the least. Wokes looked pretty good. Robinson looked really good. Wood looked quite good at times. Stokes and Leach got slapped, and Root as well. When I mean slapped, of course, I mean with the bat on their bowling. Right. Obviously, Australia clearly utilised a tactic, which was to try and hit Leach out the attack, and it worked. We'll talk about whether Leach will be in the next test match. My first and initial thoughts are no. Hamid then came out in the second innings with England needing to build some type of lead. They needed really to get 450, 500 at least to, give Australia, I think it was 200 or 250, target to chase on day 5. They finished the day, so this was day 2, England, at around 222 for 2. Hamid came in and he looked pretty good again for his 27, but unfortunately wasn't able to capitalize again and push on. That will be a slight worry for England, but the fact that he's looked so good in those 2 innings is good. It's just now, look, mentally, you need to stay switched on for large periods here. Get us at 50, get us at 70, 80, get us 100. You've got the ability, you're getting yourself out by that slight switching off at times. But he's a talented player, and it's good to see that he's actually able to play in these conditions as well, because there would have been question marks, no doubt, coming into this. Burns doesn't look comfortable in these conditions. The way he got out in the first innings, obviously, first ball of the first Ashes Test match, leg stump out of the ground, went too far across, and then to Cummins. I mean, this was an interesting one once again, nicking off. Burns, he's struggling with the extra bounce. Let's see how he fares. It's the first test match, so I don't want to be too harsh. And then Milan and Root were so good. They were unbeaten going into day 4. They were both on 80. I think Milan was on 80, Root 86, if I'm not mistaken. And they built a fantastic partnership. I mean, you can see here, right? They were 229 for 3. 223, sorry, for 2. England. And they collapsed to 297. So that means they lost 8 wickets for 74 runs. That is absolutely shocking, to say the least. And Milan and Root will look at themselves, and England should look at themselves, because one, Milan and Root will look at themselves and say, we were set, we should have gone on, we didn't. We really screwed ourselves and the whole team by both getting out early in that session and then brought on what was a complete and utter domination and just complete carnage, really, that ensued as Australia just absolutely destroyed England, going through the whole lineup like it was nothing. And the batting lineup looks weak and feeble. But then England should also look at themselves and say, we shouldn't be relying just on those two to get runs, right? So there's a couple of things. Look, Milan and Root, I think they go on and they both get hundreds. One of them goes on to get 150, etc., etc. One of them gets a double ton. Who knows? Anything can happen. But let's just be a bit more realistic, I guess. 150s. Milan and Root go on and get bigger runs, and England are in a much stronger position. And if only one of them gets out in that first session, potentially even, you're in a better position as well. If Root can then go on and bat 2 sessions, then you're in a really, really good position. The fact that they both got out so quickly as well, in terms of, we're talking about over. So it's only a few balls later, wasn't it? So let's have a look. So less than 3 overs later, Root got out after Milan. They'd only accrued 6 runs. Not ideal, to say the least, because that meant that Stokes and Pope were at the crease, and both were new at the crease. Stokes is already rusty, as we can see. Pope looked quite good in his first innings knock, but again, he's still inexperienced here. And then it was just a case of, okay, we're going to clean you up now, England. That's exactly what Australia did. Cummins got Stokes with a leading edge to, I think it was Gully, if I'm not mistaken. Not great. I mean, the way Milan got out was bizarre as well, in the sense that he was trying to charge Lyon. He got an inside edge onto his pads, and then it looped up straight to Labuschagne at silly cover, we might call it. I'm not quite sure. Or silly point even. Milan charging Lyon, not the best idea. He tried it a couple of times. He's not the most comfortable player of spin anyway, Daud Milan. Lyon just got him with the overspin, and he puts huge overspin on most of the deliveries that he bowls in Australia. And he just dipped on him, and it was a really, really messy, messy dismissal. And then Roots got out to what can only be described as a soft dismissal. It's not as soft as a short and wide ball and you just waft your bat out there. It was a decent delivery. It was a pretty good delivery from Cam Green. But Root will be disappointed that he didn't have more discipline to just leave that, because he could have left it. It wasn't a scoring shot. He actually was starting to go and push it towards the offside. Then eventually you could see him try and almost recline, right, his arm, his hand, and his bat. By that point, it was too late, and he got a very faint outside edge. Green as well. Interesting to see him get some shape away from the right hander at that point. It was a very old ball, so good on him, to be fair. They got a bit of shape away, and he's a talent, isn't he? He really is. Just need to see him get some runs. But with the ball, he looks good. With the bat, I think we've seen him with a couple of knocks, shorter knocks in the India series. Needs to show a little bit here as well, because they're keeping faith in him, and he's clearly a talent. Stokes, as I said, disappointing. Line, then got Pope. Hazelwood got Butler. Butler just wafting out there, really. And the less said about Butler, the better. I think Butler is a very good player, and that's why he's able to play all 3 formats. He's clearly better in the white ball stuff. Red ball stuff doesn't really come naturally to him, I would say, but he's so talented. He just somehow manages to make it work. He just looks really uncomfortable and awkward at times in red ball cricket. But look, I guess he seems to get the job done. But some of the ways he gets out, as was seen in this dismissal, highlights his deficiencies. Green then got Wokes and Lyon got Robinson and Wood. The one for Wood was a good delivery, to be fair. Little edge as well into stunts, but Lyon basically bowled him through the gate. Robinson and Wood, Wokes, you shouldn't be expecting them to get any runs. Butler got a little bit at 23. They were out 297, and it was really, really disappointing because, as I said, losing whatever it was, 70 odd runs for 8 wickets is just really poor, especially when you had 2 set batsmen. They could have set Australia more than I think it was 20 to win, which was just a joke, really. But instead, they could have set them at least 100, if one of those guys or both of them had gone on. You'd imagine even 150, potentially 200. Instead, Australia didn't even have to bat at day 5. They just came out after lunch. I don't know why they took lunch, by the way, because they took lunch after the England innings. They needed 20 to win. Just let them go out and bat. But anyways, either way, yeah, Kerry came out with Harris because I think Warner had some type of issue. Nicked off, didn't make a single dot of difference. And Harris then got 9 as well, 9 not out. Labuschagne didn't face the ball, came out and job done, 20 for 1. Australia 1-0 up in the Ashes. And to be fair, it wasn't a great indictment of England, and also a good showing, for England fans to then turn around and say, well, hold on, yeah, look what we've shown here. We have a chance in this series. On this showing, it's going to be an extremely tough series. They've got a few decisions to make. Obviously, the next test match will be a day-night test. So I would imagine they will, one, play Broad and Anderson if Anderson is still fit. Broad was fit, and of course, in true Stuart Broad fashion, has come out and said he was raring to go and ready to go, and he's extremely disappointed he missed out on the first test match. Very convenient that he says it as soon as England gets smashed, and puts pressure on the selectors. And he was going to get picked anyway for the second test match because it's a day-night test. But anyways, it's just classic Stuart Broad. The less said about that, the better. Leach won't play, I'd imagine, so Broad will come for Leach. Will they make any other changes? Anderson in for then, I guess, one of Wood, Wokes, and Robinson. I imagine they may drop. I think Robinson's pretty nailed on. I think he bowled really well. It's between Wokes and Wood. I think Wokes gives you obviously more the bat. Wood gives you that extra pace. Under the lights, how effective will he be? Is Wokes going to be better under the lights, but then you don't have that express pace? They'll have to decide. It'll be interesting to see. From an Australian point of view, I think Warner is potentially out of the next test match. As I said, he had a niggle, so that will be an absolute... that will be a big, big blow. Hazelwood's definitely out from what I've seen, so that's good. It's good in a way for the... I don't know, let's just have a think. I'm just trying to think. Realistically, so if Warner's not playing, do they then bring Khawaja in to open with Harris, or even? They open with Kerry here because they had to, but I think they might go Khawaja and Harris. And then if Hazelwood is not fit, which it looks like he's definitely out, the only kind of silver lining to that is the fact that Stark bowled well, and there's a lot of question marks around Stark and potentially Jai Richardson coming in. So Jai Richardson will come in, and he'll come in, and hopefully they'll be hoping he performs. And Stark performed in the previous one. In the day-night test match, you'd expect Stark with a new ball early doors to get it to do a bit as well. So interesting to see how that one goes. A couple of selection dilemmas for both, but Australia very much in the driving seat, and England will need to bring it back. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We really do appreciate it. And of course, click the notification bell as well to get alerted to all new videos. And we should be doing some type of live stream watch-along commentary for the second Ashes Test match. If not myself, then Venu, but probably both of us, to be honest with you. So, yeah, stay tuned. Thank you very much.